Hello everybody, welcome to continentaL Update, where we update you on things you know and what you don't know around Africa and the world. Today we are going to talk about Ethiopia. What was Ethiopia called before? Ethiopia, formerly Abyssinia, is a landlocked country in the east of Africa. In English and generally outside of Ethiopia, the country was historically known as Abyssinia. This toponym was derived from the Latinized form of the ancient Habash. The country shares borders with Eritrea to the north, Djibouti to the northeast, Somalia to the east and southeast, Kenya to the south, South Sudan to the west, and Sudan to the northwest. The staple food in Ethiopia, injera, is a fermented Ethiopian ethnic traditional staple food prepared usually from teff flour. Almost all the Ethiopians consume this food at least once in a day. The country's main religious communities are Orthodox Christians, Muslims, and Protestants. It's home to one of the world's oldest churches and has the third largest Muslim population in sub-Saharan Africa. Orthodox Christians account for about 43% of the population, while approximately 33% are Muslims. Sahel Work-Zewde is an Ethiopian politician and diplomat who is the president of Ethiopia since 2018. Being the first woman to hold the office, she was elected as the president unanimously by members of the Federal Parliamentary Assembly on 25th of October 2018. Ahmed Ali is an Ethiopian politician serving as the third Prime Minister of Ethiopia since 2018 and as a leader of the Prosperity Party since 2019. Political parties in Ethiopia include the Ethiopia's People's Revolutionary Democratic Front, EPRDF, Unity for Democracy and Justice, UDJ, Oromo People's Congress, OPC, Arena Tigay for Democracy and Sovereignty, Oromo Federalist Democratic Movement, OFDM, Coalition for Unity and Democracy Party, CUDP, the United Ethiopian. So these are the political parties in Ethiopia. History of Ethiopia as a survey of notable events, the people in the history of Ethiopia. From the prehistoric era of the present day, Ethiopia is the largest and most populated country in the Horn of Africa. It is also one of the world's oldest countries, sometimes referred to as the Abyssinia, in previous historical periods. Its territorial extent having varied over the millennia of its existence. In ancient times, it remained centered on Aksum, an imperial capital whose remains are located in the northern part of the modern state, about 100 miles, that is 160 kilometers from the Red Sea coast. The present territory was consolidated during the 19th century and 20th century. Ethiopia lies completely within the tropical latitudes. It is also landlocked, having become so following the 1993 secession of Eritrea, its former province along the Red Sea. Ethiopia's capital city, Addis Ababa, lies near the center of the country. As Christian shipping disappeared from the Red Sea, Aksumite state turned southward, conquering adjacent grain, which monastic establishment moved even further to the south. For example, a major church was founded near the Lake Hague. Meanwhile, population pressures and mounted among the Oromo and the Posterior people who inhabited the upper basin of the river. For most Ethiopians, life during the age of the princes was difficult. However, power had shifted from the central court of the court to the court of regional princes, and they vied with one another in battle. There were no significant changes in the social order, but the oppression of the farming population increased as armies traversed the highlands, ruining the countryside and plundering the harvest of farmers. Nevertheless, significant developments were taking place in the south. Agricultural development led to the formation of Oromo State to the southwest of Shiwa. The Gonga people developed their own state in the Kefa highlands on the west bank of the Omo River, and a line that claimed Solomonic descent established a formidable regional kingdom in the northern Shiwa. Shiwa prospered in the growing trade of the state. Rome believed that as few as 35,000 soldiers could control Ethiopia, but was proved wrong on March 1st, 1896 at the Battle of Adwa, where General Oreche Baratieri led 14,500 Italian troops on a poorly organized attack against Menelek's well-armed host of some 100,000 fighters. The Italian lines crumbled, and at noon, retreat was sounded. The emperor retired into Ethiopia to await negotiations, and on October 26, 1896, he signed the Treaty of Addis Ababa, which abrogated the Treaty of Wichel. Menelik subsequently directed the Solomonic state into areas never before under its rule. Between 1896 and 1906, Ethiopia expanded its present size, taking its highlands, the key river systems, and a buffer of low-lying zones around the state's central core. Ethiopia's exports are most entirely agricultural. Coffee is the primary foreign exchange earner. Other exported products include cards, hides and skins, live animals, oilseeds, and gold. Ethiopia's economy is based on agriculture, which accounts for 46% of the GDP and 85% of the total employment of the nation.